Yeah, this is Margaret in Windsor, and this is video number 2, if I can get these up. Yesterday morning, I was shut off totally, and claiming something about I couldn't upload any more videos. I couldn't even access YouTube with this on this. What did it say? It's a phone that I've been using, itty bitty Walmart phone, $39 one for 3.5 years. Never been on anything else. I'm not that familiar. This is rough enough for me, this little phone. Oh, I know what to do with it, but I can't go and undo some of the stuff when it's hacked. I don't know how to do that. I'd have to get a new phone number and a new phone, etc. So I put this up, and I'm where a lot of this has happened. The people that own here, go ahead and say it. I put it up there, and I may be out, or I don't know. Tomorrow, I don't know what can happen. But I've been putting it up, and I've been putting up about the mold and mildew, and I even had an ear from the bacterial last Christmas and bursted eardrum, and I've lost, and that's just a part of it. I have been run since I came here, and no money in '86. When I did start getting a little money, I paid the same place I am here, so they, okay. And this is years ago when I first started getting some money. I paid out at, it was on Third Lane Road, and they owned it up until that place up until last year, I believe. Anyway, it won't matter if I put this up or not. I've put all the other up, so you know. So anyway, out at Scott Hill, when I went out there, that was all arranged to where I can't get anything, and then I go, they run me with the fumes. And there's always to do that, and when the law doesn't work for you, I can't get an attorney, so my hands are tied except social media. So now then, a year ago, well, this is when I first got some money, and I wasn't getting it on I don't think, maybe I was. Anyway, I paid for a month. I paid for a week, and it seemed okay. Nothing went wrong. It was kind of a new one back then. It's old now, but I paid for a week, and it was okay. So when I got money, I paid for a month. Well, I wasn't there but a couple of days when they came, started bombing the room right next to me, and I was right there, and it sucks it in from the air conditioning. If you open your door, it's going to suck it in. And bombing means they go in and they, you know what I mean by bombing, the fleas and whatever was in there. So next thing happened, I don't know if it's the next day, they came to my door and knocked, and I said, no, you can't come in. I'm still sick from what is coming out of the room next to me. Well, they came on in anyway, and they sprayed, and I got really sick, and I thought, well, if they've done it and me telling them not to come in, I called, and he owns this. I might as well go ahead and say it. I've lived in fear and had to run around while I've watched others that got money and payoff and everything else for what's been done to me, not just here in Roanoke, the hell in Huntsville, Alabama, and Atlanta, Georgia. And my husband back then going with me to the TV stations, to the Atlanta Journal, all over, and nobody would help. So anyway, except the letter from the FBI, and then, it looks like they deserted me, but really the Brits have been the one that's protected me, but there's some segment of the FBI that have. And they didn't all go away. It may look that way. I wouldn't be alive, and I'm not sure I will be long anyway. I'm old, but then look at what's happened to me. So anyway, I stayed there, and out of the month, I don't remember. It wasn't more than 4 days if it was that. And I had to walk from there on up to another place of his, and I put all this up. So this is not new putting it up. And he said he would give me a place to stay there. So I'm going to go from this nice one where I'd paid. It was kind of nice. It was newer. Got over there, stayed 2 nights. I don't know if I stayed 2. And the woman was a housekeeper that had the room, and I don't know what they'd done to it, but I was so sick. Well, I mean, they go in and create it. They're told to do the stuff to me. This isn't done to their other patrons, I assure you, and it's not legal. But there's connections and all this. Believe me, and I put that up too, so it's all up here. If you know, what good's it doing me, I suppose. But I had to try. Well, I got up here to his other place, and she told me, this woman, and she had a friend with her. They were waiting on me that night, and she worked there, and that was the room she had, and then they moved me in there for that night or 2 nights at the most. I'm not sure. She told me she was with, I guess, her husband and the other guy and the woman. And she said that they had been to D.C., and she says, it goes so high up, we can't help you. So anyway, I left, and there I didn't get any money out of this. All I got was well, I've just put that up. You can count it up. I didn't get any money back, and all that walking, and here I am back out on the trail. I have nowhere to go. I've been doing the same thing over and over, begging and pleading and walking and all this mess. My jobs, certain jobs I'd get, not very many then, it was shut down. No room in the inn is what Larry Flint told me. And after he role-played it out there, the first time I went out there during the campaign, he took me right to the room, lily pad room. The rooms out there evidently had names. Anyway, as in Jeremiah, anyway, you're getting in this kind of crypter. So, in essence, when I left that last time, he introduced a movie producer, was sitting with him, and he got up, and Mr. Flint introduced me to him and told me who he was. And Mr. Flint said there's no room in the inn as I went out the door. Well, he had proven that the first time they had a room available. Oh, yeah. Okay, this time, can't find a room. I'm pushing him around in the wheelchair, and we're looking in his home there in Bel Air on St. Cloud. I think Sonny and Cher owned that just prior to his. Not that that means, well, anything. But anyway, he took me. This guy had a lot of rooms in it. Now, the last time and the second time I was out there, the campaign was over, and they had a whole bunch that were in that special campaign. Like, who on goodness? It was 20 people in the campaign. I came in number 7, which wasn't bad. I didn't win, though. Anyway, he's telling me, in essence, that I'm going to be blocked, I guess, and I was. Haven't been, and it's bad right now, you know. So anyway, this has been ongoing, that they've been doing this and running me, and then the state trooper that I said, Carl Barton, his wife, when they brought me down, the fuel had been poured on my tent that night, and said to me, this is how we run you, with chemicals. Well, think about that. Even gave me his little thing that you put on mailing address, and wrote it down for me. I believe that, well, I better not say that I might still have it. You know, I still do have that you paste on the letter, their address. So anyway, this has been over and over, and at times to the degree that I thought I was going to die from it. It would choke, and it would, there was one time out there, I just paid a night or 2 out there, and then suddenly, they were doing paving and I don't know what all out there a few years ago, and it was really bad. The guys that worked there had come in that night, and I was all right until then, and I don't know what happened, but I had to go and pay a cab and find another place. And here I'm paying for two places at one time, and it ends up I'm running from one hellhole to another. So this has been ongoing till I came here, and I'm not even going to mention what happened that brought me here. And I guess I won't be here for long. So I've been here a year and a half, going on 2 years. So I've stayed here the longest, and they started out moving me to room because it would make me so sick and everything. So it's just like all the rest, and I took pictures just like I have all the rest. I don't know what good it's done me if they're out there somewhere. I sent them to enough people, and all you had to do is look at you can't smell what they use in the room, or if they're paving out there, or they're tarring the roof up there, which is deadly to me, those items. I could have lived a decent life. I go out, and this happens nowhere other than where I have lived. So it's been deliberate, but you're not supposed to say it's been deliberate. That's deliberate. It was a conspiracy. It was orchestrated. Okay, so I'm here. And this room I've stayed in for a bit because I'm getting where I can't load the few things. I got some things during Christmas some people gave me, and I'm grateful for. I don't want to lose it. Some clothing and a few things. So I've stayed in this room because, frankly, I can go out this door. If I have to leave, I don't know where I would go. But at least right at the moment, well, anyway, I don't know. So what I wanted to say was this, if it doesn't go off. My phone got so bad, I couldn't get on Facebook, and they kept putting that up about someone logging in, and I saw their IP number. Well, they give me that. Is this you that's logged in? Well, it wasn't, because I had to stop that. They'd asked me to do a password, and this person is just got my Gmail and all that, or text, so they're they got my password. And it began to look like it was me. They were logging in at this identical time almost that I am. And but when it flips over, when you say it says see more on Facebook about the login, they're an hour ahead of me. Well, I'm in the Eastern time, so I don't know where they would be. But obviously they can control my phone and my Facebook and YouTube on my phone. I have a horrible time with it. And so that was the ultimate when they shut down in Facebook, and I couldn't upload. My only access to getting this out for whatever good it does me. And Facebook, I was trying to see if I could upload from the galley, since I couldn't go to YouTube. Well, that wouldn't work. I couldn't even get on there hardly, and it definitely wouldn't put it up. And then the galley was going blank. Things were going out from the galley. I've never had that happen before, like cleaning the galley out, everything I had on it. So let me see if I can keep it straight now. So I thought about the phone that I've got locked up in here in my suitcase, and that the friend gave me. I put this up on the other video. And I thought the reason for looking, this made me think, well, I'm just going to have to go ahead and try to get this hooked up and get a new phone number or whatever, and transfer it to this phone. It's a good phone. I just didn't have the money, and I still don't really, but I do have a card that I could, well, I'm not sure I can use it on, he was with Verizon, so I'm not sure. I've been told they wouldn't. I don't know. But anyway, I got it out yesterday, and I thought, well, it's an alternative with what's happening. They told me I could no longer use video on YouTube on this device. Same device, it'll be the phone I've been using for 3.5 years. So now then, I get up and look at it, and lo and behold, that's where I can assure you, unless no, it's what followed. It's not funny to me. It had that was still on. I hadn't touched it in a long time, that phone, so I did have to boot it up. I did put the power on for just, and it comes on. Okay, that's where they got me, is there. And right away, I tell you what, I've never, that to my knowledge, when I came here, had to say that if I had Wi-Fi, because I was using my own Wi-Fi. It's not as good. But and they as much as said that yesterday, that no, I'd never signed one. When I moved in, that if I put any offensive things up, that using their Wi-Fi, that they could, I guess they could make me leave. Wow, that'd been a cute time now to make me leave, because, you know, not going to say anymore, This whole thing has been so one-sided. And so here, this is what they'd done, the app, the Facebook kept saying it was somebody logging in next to me here in Salem. Well, I guess so. They're logging in from right here. It never occurred to me. And then it did. It started playing out. So I wish I had left it now. I redid that phone, and I don't think it can be used right at the moment now. I took the battery and everything out of it and redone it, knocked everything off. Well, I thought everything would go off. There was nobody with an account on it. Anyway, it's in there. I took it out and I did that and I put it back. And the more I thought about it, I thought, well, they've had my phone up front, because when I went out to Scott Hill, they stole my phone, did a bunch of stuff. And, one day, if I'm lucky, I'll live and this is told. And I've told part of it up before, but it's hard for someone, I guess, to put it together, some of it anyway. So anyway, they got my phone, and this is twice I was out at Scott Hill. And by the way, when I first went out there, that was 3.5 years ago, the air-conditioned heating units were all old. It was horrible, horrible. And I'm the reason they got new ones. I left in good standing. I have everywhere till this last, this is going to go off. This last time they got me in a corner. I wouldn't have gone out there except a new woman was out there that had lived and traveled, knew about me living on the trail, and I thought she was going to be nice. She was just part of the whole friggin' mess. So now then, they would have me where I can't even get a HUD or anything, but they're the illegal ones that did this mess. It's orchestrated. I don't care if somehow they made this long-lost movie that's taken so long. This wasn't my consent. It's not right. It's a crime, every friggin' bit of it. Now, I doubt that they've made a movie of it, but where am I going to now here? Well, I don't know. Anyway, I'd hate to lose my rent here. Anyway, I go up to the front desk. And obviously, well, let me say this. From Scott Hill, I went back out there because they called me last June. Almost 3 years to the day. It's going to go out. I might as well stop. And this last time I thought, well, I'll never go back. I tried it twice. And I was never meant to stay. That's the whole thing. And this is HUD. This is federal. So now then, on the way back, the woman that was came up suddenly. Nobody else could take me, and I'm having to pay them to bring me back over here.